All right, Queens, welcome back. Welcome back to Powerfully Her. I'm so excited that you are here. In this episode, we are going to talk about legacy. That's right, we're going to talk about legacy and how powerful it is and why it is so important and why I hope you create a life of legacy and a life that you're proud of. Can't wait to see you on the inside. Hey, Queens. I like to jam to theme music. You know that. Hope you're doing it with me, right? Hope there's no more lipstick on my teeth yet. No, that happens. It's like you're talking and it's just like right there. Like, you know how you see the movies and it's like right there, or like some food stuck in your teeth or anything like that, and you're like, no. Crazy. I saw this movie, sidebar, with Rachel McAdams. Oh my God, what is it? Oh God. When she got stranded on the island with her boss, he was like super evil. And she was eating tuna, y'all. The tuna like fell out her mouth. I think it was stuck on her lip. I think it fell on her shoe, something like that. I felt so bad for her. But listen, she came out on the other side. Okay, I'll tell you that. But you got to see it. It's very entertaining. A thriller, really suspense, but it was wild. But check it out. And I'm not endorsing that at all. So I wasn't even paid for that, but I thought it was entertaining. I think maybe Send Help. Maybe that's the movie Send Help. Okay. But I digress. Hey, Queens, how's it going? Like jazz hands, right? You ever see Bring It On, jazz hands? Throwback. But how's it going? How is it going? I hope it's going amazing. I say that all the time because I hope it is. I really hope it's going well for you. And as I'm recording this, it's April. To be precise, I believe it's April 8th. April 9th. It's April. Okay, it's April. All right, now I want to know the date. Now I actually want to know the date, what it is. It is currently today. It is April 8th. It is Wednesday, April 8th. And this is when I'm recording this episode. And I'm just saying the date just to let you know that it's so important for you to believe in yourself and your dreams. You just have to keep going, Queens. You have to. And that ties into what this episode is about, which is legacy. But I just want you to know that. And if I haven't stressed enough how much I want the best for you and how you need to want the best for you as well, because it's your life, right? It's your life and it has to be you. So on with the show. Episode 28. Yeah. Episode 28. Queens, because of you. It's because of you we're still going. It's because of you. That's why. It's because of you tuning into the shorts. It's because of you listening to the podcast. It's just because you're just showing up for you. That's why. This is why. It's why we're here and why it's working is because it matters. It counts because you matter and you count, right? You matter and you count. So we just got to keep going. Excuse me. And I'm proud of you. And of me too, thanks. But I'm proud of you because I'm doing this. We're doing this for you. We're doing this for the me that I wish I had this years ago. I wish I had a podcast from someone that went through my experiences and not necessarily looked like me, even though that does help, but someone that went through my shoes and is really rooting for me and understands what it feels like to go through the pain. The pains of life and being a woman, and just life can be tough, and just all the things that we have to go through. And I wish I would have had this type of podcast back then when I was going through what I was going through, because there's so many podcasts and there are a lot of podcasts. There's no shade to any of them. I'm sure they existed. I just didn't know. But I know what I can do and I know what you can do, which is a lot. And, I wish I would have had something like this then. So, but guess what? It's here now. So we're not even fretting over that. We're not dwelling on that. Woe is me. We're not doing that. We're moving forward. Monday momentum, powering a pivot, and we're moving forward, right? That's what we're doing. So, it's because of you. I just want to say thank you, and because of God. So yes, am I happy? Yay. So, yes, episode 28. Yay. So exciting. So exciting. And then this episode is about legacy. Legacy, legacy. And legacy is huge. It is huge. And you hear that word a lot on social media. A lot of people, legacy this, legacy that, and the importance of legacy. But what I see a lot is very superficial aspects of what legacy is. And that's not what legacy is. It doesn't necessarily have to be monetary. And legacy is something that honestly, that you can, the term itself is something that you could pass down. Like, what can you pass down through traditions? What can you pass down to your loved ones, that something that you contributed, something that you did, what can you pass down? And some episodes I'm going through Google to find out the definition. And I'm going to give you the definition for legacy. And what Google says, legacy is something handed down from the past, typically money or property willed by a deceased person, or long-lasting impact, traditions, or reputation a person leaves behind. It represents an enduring influence from an ancestor or predecessor that persists after they are gone. It can be an inheritance. This person received significant legacy from their grandmother's estate. Lasting impact. The artist left a lasting legacy through their innovative techniques. Historical long-term. The war left a bitter legacy of, that's negative, so I don't want to say that one. Technology, which is an adjective, is the company struggling to upgrade to its outdated legacy system. Okay, something else. But yeah, legacy is power. It's positivity. It's something that you did that you could pass down. This is what I did. This is my mark on my bloodline. This is me activating my greatness. Remember episode 27? This is me activating my greatness. And this is what I could pass down to my family, to my loved ones. Legacy. That's so powerful. And that is so beautiful. And that is something that lives in you, Queen. I want you to know that legacy does not have to be something that you yourself grew up with. It does not have to be that. Legacy does not have to be something that was actually handed down to you. It could start with you. Know that. Legacy could start with you. Y-O-U. You. It could start with you. And like I said before, it does not have to be monetary. Yes, they're listing estate here and property here, but they also listed a lasting impact. It also said that a long-lasting impact as well. It could be something that person that's passing down traditions, legacy, traditions of things that we are doing well, right? Legacy. And again, and I know we see all the time on social media where it's very, it's just, we're inundated with that. It's just like the flashiness and this and that and that and that. And it's like so much noise. I get it. It's like, it's like gas prices are going high. And what are we talking about here? Like, we're talking about, do this and that. You're like, how, when? I get it. I get it. But what I want you to do, Queen, is I want you to center yourself. Center yourself for what you are doing good. What are you doing? Or what do you want to do? Right? What are you doing that comes easy? I want you to think about that. And I also want to know you are more than worthy enough to know that you and your birthright is legacy in itself. You are wonderful already. So what power and blessing and joy it is to be able to pass down more of you, right, throughout your family to your loved ones because you're wonderful, right? Or if you have been, because again, I know some people have a very rough upbringing. So if there are estranged ties and not getting along with family members, I don't ever want anyone to force anything ever. That's not something I do. I'm like, well, it doesn't matter because that's you. And I'm like, no, I do. You know by now I don't subscribe to that. This is episode 20. You've been rocking me for 28 episodes. You know daggone well. I'm not doing that. I don't do that. I want you to do what works best for you, what's right for you. So even if it might not be your bloodline, that's okay. It could be friends. That could be family too. Some people that you care about or someone you care about that you could pass down something to them. And legacy also. It could be something that, what is a feeling you're passing down? So we could redefine a lot of things because it said a long-lasting impact. How are you putting that long-lasting positive impact on those that you care most about? Right? And when you think about that, How often are you putting a long-lasting positive impact on those that you care about? Really let that process. And why am I asking you that? Is because we are human beings. We have feelings. And we all know it's very easy for us to remember the negative, right? I remember that time you told me this and that, and da-da-da-da-da. But it's hard for us to just remember the positive things that have happened. We don't remember that, but we remember negativity. And it shouldn't be that way. We have to discipline ourselves, discipline our mind to say, no, I don't want to hold on to that. I want to hold on to the positivity. I want to hold on to the good that actually exists. And the long-lasting impact that those that you're connected to, that they can hold on to that long-lasting impact, positive impact that you have with them, right? That's so special. That's so powerful. And you know what? I have to say that to myself, Queen, too. I do that reflection. I try to, as much as possible. Again, none of us are perfect, okay? None of us are perfect. I don't at all want you to think I'm on this podcast thinking like, she knows everything. She's got to figure it out. Da-da-da-da. No, I am a work in progress too. I'm doing my best. Yes, I have learned a lot, but there's a lot to learn. I know a little bit. I should say that, but there's a lot to learn. And for all of us, but it's about having that reflection, right? Let me reflect on the things I need to work on. And just do better, right? Because we're going to make mistakes. So there is no perfection here. We are striving for excellence, right? So the long-lasting impact, and we're going to add to it positivity on those that you care about. Let's change that. Instead of being the negativity we remember, let it be the positive things we remember. Hey, I remember that time where, you know, I love those cookies and you baked those cookies for me out of nowhere. It wasn't my birthday, but you just baked that. And I remember that. I remember that you said I look really pretty today, or you said that I look really nice, or you just said something, whomever is close to you that you were pouring into in such a positive way and loving way, because that's who you are, Queen. That's just who you are. Like, come on, let's stop playing here. You are a lovely woman. Okay. So you were just affirming someone and making someone that you care about feel good. That long-lasting positive impact, that emotion, that positive emotion, that memory they take with them. Because we're redefining. It doesn't have to be the negativity. It doesn't. Not when you're showing up for them, too. That's another thing. Because the enemy wants us to focus on negativity. I promise you that. He wants us to focus on negativity. He wants to. He's just like, I want you to focus on the negativity, even if the negativity is not even there. Right? That's insane. To actually create something out of nothing, to break it down to something where it is negative, is wild to me. Right? And that happens. We see it all the time. So this is why it's very important for us to discipline ourselves. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that anymore. If you've done it, okay. Let's acknowledge it. Let's be aware, and let's do better. That's it. I've done it. We've all been there. We've said mean things, done mean things, said things we shouldn't have said, did things we shouldn't have did. You know what I mean? We're not perfect. We're not. We're just striving for excellence to get better. So this is why we want to change that. So to create some negativity out of nowhere, let's change that. Like, you know what? I want to commit and submit to what God wants me to do the right thing. That's what I want to do. And if that means where the long lasting impact, if I'm used to always having something to say, and it might necessarily sometimes be very negative, I'm still learning not say anything. You know, I've had to learn, like, not everything needs to be said. That's another thing. So that positive, long lasting impact can be legacy. And you can create that, just creating small, powerful, positive moments in the day. It's not costing you anything. We're not saying go out there and draw out a will. We're not saying that. Because what is the purpose of having a will and having all this, an estate and all this money, if you don't have people that want to share it with you? If there's no one to share it with, if you're not creating happy moments with others, people that you love, what does it matter? What does it matter? See, this is why it's important. This is why I'm focusing so heavily on long-lasting positive impacts first. That's what I want to start with, because there is no point of having all this money, having all these resources, if you have no one to share it with. No one. Because how many times you see a lot of rich people, a lot of wealthy people, they have people from the woodworks coming for money from them, and they don't even like them. The family doesn't like the person because they think the person with money is rude, or the person with money is actually rude and that just not a nice person. But they have no one, they think their money's going to keep them warm at night. Is it? So you're surrounded by other people that don't care about you, and you know that, and you're still, you've seen them. They don't want to humble themselves to stop. I'm like, stop. You need to stop. This is not working for you. You're like, well, I made so much money. Making a lot of money doesn't make you smart. And daggone sure don't make you better. Just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean you're better than anybody. That's entitlement and arrogance, which will be an episode, but God willing. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to God. It doesn't. What God cares about is how we're treating one another. God cares about the long-lasting positive impacts we have on one another. That's what he cares about. That's what he cares about. Like, how many prophets do we look in his book and all of God's holy books? Were all of them wealthy? In spirit, of course. But how many of them can we name were balling? Prophet Solomon was, Islam. Prophet David was. But how many can you name were just gold bars everywhere like Mansa Musa? Like, how many? Because God knew the spirit has to be strong. And they could have very well had that. And if they did, they would have gave out so much. They're like, I don't even need this. Because it's creating long-lasting impact where people want to be closer to you because you're creating positive memories with them. You're treating them with respect. You're treating them with love. They want to be around you, not for what you can give them monetary or transactional, which we live in now, the opportunist time, or what can you get from me? What can I get from you? Like, what? No, that's not legacy. It's about being around people that you can pass down long-lasting positive impact moments with them, and you build together, right? We're building. So if you surround yourself with people that are doing like you guys are creating a strong legacy together. Together. That's what we want. We are stronger together, queens. Yes. Together, not apart. When we look at the hand, right? Look at the hand. The hand is not powerful by itself. It's all these beautiful fingers that make them strong, that fist strong. You can't do this. That's not strong. You can't just do this finger and strong. It's together makes a fist. That's power. That's the legacy. We're together in this. We can't be apart. Even though the thumb's the strongest finger, what does it matter if you don't have all these bad boys? Who cares? You're like, this is the strongest one. We could play tug of war, thumb wrestle. Yeah, but you don't thumb wrestle through life. Life is not, that's not how you do it. Boxing isn't this. You don't box your way through this. This is not an Olympics, okay? It's about this togetherness. And even this is not strong on its own. This is still individual. It's on the same palm. But it's when you close it together. That's the strength. That's the power. That's the unity. That is the legacy. So this is what you need to start focusing on. How can I start creating long-lasting impact in a positive way for myself and for others and those that I care about? Because you can't create that for the world if you ain't creating for yourself, queen. If you do not create it for you, you need to start creating that for you. How are you creating these moments for you? You're like, you know what? I'm so glad I left work a little early and I just went and just sat down in the park, some fresh air. You know, I'm glad I did that. Glad I got out of the traffic, left a little early before stuff started to pick up. Sat down in the park. I really enjoyed that. You know, that's free, right? I'm hitting the mic a lot. Whoa. I'm acting brand new. What am I doing? You know, that's free. I really liked that, you know, I really went to that restaurant I wanted to try out. Or I bought that dress or actually get my feet done, or a scalp massage, or a full body massage, whatever works, you know? One time I got a massage, I think 2 times, and I fell asleep on the table. Yeah, sometimes we be tired, just tired, you know? But I'm like, don't listen, I'm gonna knock out, okay? And she's like, okay. And I'm snoring. I was like, oh my God. She's like, yeah, you were snoring. I was like, ooh, sorry. I was tired. I'm a mama. But I gave birth to my daughter too. So I was just like, ooh. But yeah. What are you doing that for you? Because again, we're showing up for everybody else, right? You're showing up for work, showing up for family, showing up for everybody else. But how are you showing up for you? So everything starts with us. Everything starts with us. It's us. Remember, it has to be you, right? So it has to be you, the one that's creating legacy for yourself and for those that you care about. But you cannot get to legacy for others if you don't show up for yourself, if you're not giving legacy to you. You cannot have the financial prosperity. You can't have all of that. No, it can come, but it's not going to mean anything because you didn't create long-lasting impact in a positive way with those that care about you and you care about them, right? You see how everything goes hand in hand. God wants them to know everything goes hand in hand. Be the fist, queen. And you are a ruler. You are a queen. Okay, don't forget that. So it doesn't have to be, I don't want to leave you with anything that's too like all these lists of things to do, because again, power and a pivot, Monday Momentum, we are all doing a lot. And when we have so many, when things get added onto our list, we get overwhelmed, right? And this day and age in the world, it's a lot. It's a lot. It really is a lot. And this is why you need to start showing up for you more. And you listen to this podcast is another thing. I'm so glad I checked into the podcast and to remind myself that I'm powerfully heard, because you are. Okay. Right? So those things are so important. They're so valid because you are. So let's start creating legacy for ourselves. Let's start now. Look at oh my God, our ancestors. Look at all the civilizations that have come before us that have achieved so many great things in such harsh, horrific, evil times. And the things that they have achieved. My God. My God. Whoa. So if ever in life you're like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, look to the past. Look to the people that have come before you so you know what's possible. It is very possible for you to achieve great things. And remember, to activate greatness, you have to have awareness. You have to have that demand. Activate, you have to be aware, and you got to demand, I have to activate my greatness. Because a part of that legacy is understanding that you come from greatness. So greatness lives in you. So it's about you taking that step to do it. And study history, look around, actually research, study the great heroes that have come before us, the great achievers that have come before us, that have paved the way for us to have such amazing lives. Because if it weren't for the past generations, we wouldn't have. If it weren't for our ancestors and our elders who were passing on these wonderful legacies and traditions for us to have more in this life and have the opportunities we have in this life, if they didn't do it, we wouldn't have what we have today. We wouldn't. And this is why it's very important to study and to learn. Very important to study and learn, because we have to give credit where credit is due. We have to give respect, and we have to respect our elders, and we need to be able to see, have that awareness. Like, okay, wait, God, wow, I'm able to have this because of them and what they did and what they sacrificed. Yes, absolutely, you are, and that's a great thing. And then your turn, right? Then the cycle, it keeps going, and that's a beautiful thing. But remember, you are the fist. We are all the fists together. So don't ever think that you can't do it. You are wonderfully made, queen. Wonderfully made. You can absolutely do it. So tap into who you really are. Go back to your natural. Go back to your birthrights. Okay? Back to the birthright. Still got to check the teeth because I don't know. Go back to your birthright. Go back to who you really are. It's about time. Okay? So legacy is a part of your birthright. It is a part of your birthright. And again, no matter where you are in the world and when you were watching this, know that to be true. And I ain't lying here. I tell no lies, God willing. Okay? All right, Queen. So I'm going to leave you with that. I'm going to leave you with the two things. Number one is for you to start creating legacy within you. Do those things for yourself first. Be that legacy for you first. Create those long-lasting impacts for you in a positive way. And then you could do that for others, those that you care about. And for the world too. Remember, two worlds. And also study. Learn about the heroes that have come before us. And I'm not saying you need to do an essay. I'm not asking you for a thesis. No. But just for you to give respect and to say thank you. Just one, And if you want to keep it going, that's cool too. But just like, wow, this person, these people, these amazing heroes, they sacrifice so much. Yes. And so that we're here. Do you think as a Black woman, an African-American woman, I'd be able to be myself on screen in the 50s and the 40s? And prior to that, the 60s? No, I wouldn't. But it's my answers that came before me that have allowed me, because of God, allowed me to be here to do this. I have to give respect. Heroes. Because no one has a right to take away your voice. No one has a right to tell you what you can have and can't have. No one. So know that, queens. Okay? So as always, I want you to know that you are much more powerful than you know. And forever forward, never backwards, never. Okay, and we're moving forward, right? This is episode 28. We're, God willing, alhamdulillah, moving forward. And you need to do the same. All right? And you come from greatness, so greatness lives in you. So it's about time that you start activating your greatness. And always remember that you are powerfully her. I will see you in the next episode. Thanks. Bye.